So we've been talking a lot about beliefs and emotions, but where do they come from anyway? Where do those patterns that we notice in our life, those places where we struggle and continue to struggle towards our goals or get into a place of repeating these triggers or these patterns in our life around wealth, around relationship, around physical health, maybe constantly being in a place of sickness or illness. Where do they come from? How do we get these beliefs anyway? Well, most of the beliefs that we're carrying today as adults, we programmed in, or we got programmed in when we were in our very early years of life, mostly between the ages of 0 or even before that in the womb into the ages of 6 and 12. Back then, back in those early years, we're just totally open to programming. There isn't this gatekeeper that says, I don't want this belief, or that belief is good and this one's bad. There's no gatekeeper. The conscious mind is not fully developed. We're just taking in programming. In fact, our brain waves are totally open to receive this programming. The brainwave patterns that we'll typically experience in those early years are delta, theta, and alpha. And in this delta, theta, and alpha brainwave, we're just saying, give me programming without any gate. But what happens as we get to about age 12 or the puberty years, our conscious mind is fully developed, and then this gatekeeper is fully developed, and we start to say, no, I'm not taking on that belief, I have this belief. All this is really good. When we have this open programming in our early years of life, we learn how to survive and thrive in our family unit, in our environment. And biology protects us that way by just giving us the programming that we'll need to survive. But unfortunately, in this day and age, when we're living a long time and our lives change and we have different goals and dreams and new goals and dreams, we're not just farmers for the rest of our life, we're not just staying with our tribe for the rest of life, we need to be able to change our subconscious beliefs. In those early years, we also learn through the language of our senses. And that's important because as adults, we also want to learn through the language of our senses. So as this child that's going around exploring its environment, it's touching everything, and it touches the stove and say, oh, that's hot. And instantly there's a belief, an emotionally charged belief, that don't touch the stove because I'll get burnt. And we watch our parents. We're looking at our parents and what they do without any filters. And we make decisions about this is what love is, or this is how I get love and affection from my parents. And we learn that, and those beliefs come in. And we listen to our environment. We listen to our parents, what they say. And these days, you might want to watch or be careful about what your children or grandchildren are watching on TV, especially between the ages of 1 and 6, when we're totally open to what's coming in, because there's no filters. They're not be able to say, that's wrong or this is right. They just take in whatever they're seeing, whatever they're hearing, and what they're feeling, the emotional charge. And that becomes patterns for the rest of their life. What patterns do you want for your children, grandchildren? And what patterns did you take on in your life in those early years that are continuing through this life? So in this course, very shortly, we'll get into identifying some of those patterns, identifying some of those beliefs and those emotional charges, and actually changing them as an adult. And we'll do that through the language of our senses. You'll learn how to see, feel, and hear what your goals are, and you'll learn how to get those past the gatekeeper, past that conscious mind which says, I don't want this belief. And you get a choice. You get to choose your beliefs as an adult. You get to choose whether you want this belief or that, and that's the role of the conscious mind. But to really create change in your life, you'll want to get to the subconscious mind and how it is running your life, because your subconscious mind runs pretty much 95% of all your behaviors based on those early programs that you took on back between the ages of 0 and 12.